till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Finding life along the way, melodies we haven't played. No, I don't want no rest. Echoing around these walls, fighting to create a song. I don't wanna miss a beat. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
Hello guys, hello. We're back at it again. We're into a court case. I need to quickly get changed, and then we will head over there and get there ASAP. Go on our grey. What about Navy? Should we wear Navy today? What Navy? Do it Navy. Yeah, we'll go with Navy. Am I wearing the right shoes? I am wearing the right shoes. Yeah, let's go Navy. I haven't been wearing Navy in a while. What do you mean I change again? Dog, do you feel the last time I changed clothes on Reina realistically? In a while. Oh no, the meeting was okay. The meeting was great. It was just what it was always like, to be honest. Yeah, the last time I streamed a court case, and then I had another court case after that that I also didn't change for. So I've had this for a while. I was wearing a black suit for a while, so I think. I'm just a little bit late. Well, I'm not late, but I have 10 minutes. I have 10 minutes. And I just gotta revise all of my documentation to make sure I'm not going fucking bonkers and forgetting all of my evidence. But yeah. We should be fine. We're gonna eat. Also gonna drink. No, this one is about something else. Oh, yes, that was my last court case though. Was the on-site IVs. Though I didn't stream that one though. Yes, that was yeah, oh, we do. Beautiful. It's a briefcase. Where's
You do have the sickest style, I will say that.
my lot?
Pretty
Oh, it's over here.
wicked style.
Hello.
I didn't expect you, actually.
I am your second chair.
I know you're my second chair, but I
I
mostly,
also really did not want to get contempt.
I mostly just wanted what?
I also really did not want to get contempt.
Yeah, no. That was something I was just discussing. I was gonna make sure that got addressed if you weren't coming, because you never fill out a schedule or anything like that. So
No,
I don't think
didn't.
you would have been required to come. You were only gonna do that deposition, but now that you're here, I mean, I take all the help I can get for sure. I appreciate it. I don't know how familiar you are with the case.
Brief. I'm just re-looking over everything now.
Yeah, you just want to take a look at my document, see if there's anything I should add, remove, change. I'm all ears to any feedback. I have pretty much everything prepared. I'm like ready to go.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be here just as a buffer for you. Do you need anything?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I've got questions already made up for the witnesses. There's a few I might be lacking on for Gavin and Delaney, but other than that, like there really isn't much to ask. I feel like, unless depending on what their answers are, then I'll obviously expand on some of their answers. But other than that, I think I'm pretty much ready to go.
Did
What's that?
No, sorry, you're good. I'm just reading over the docker real quick. Just making sure I have all the evidence pulled up.
She was thinking out loud.
Yeah, that was my fault.
Sound a little ill, maybe, Reina? Is there anything different about your voice today?
Is that better? Or were you just asking if I genuinely sick?
No. It's
I
not.
mean, I would care if you were sick, of course. I'm just wondering
Well, yeah.
if there's just anything different today. As opposed to other days, you would be speaking. Just curious. That's all.
Is that better? Better? A little bit better,
Yeah,
maybe?
that's
Beautiful.
perfect.
Alright.
That's the Reina I know.
No, I'm also technically a little bit nasally, so that's why I asked. I was like,
Okay.
do I just sound sick, or like are you?
No. Typical British nasal, that's all. I'm just kidding.
It is literally pretty typical Brit. No, I'm also very
Sound tired.
yeah, a little bit. A little bit.
Alright. Well.
But I'll manage. Hopefully. If it looks like it's getting on too late, I'll excuse myself.
Yeah, no, I assume it's I assume you're getting pretty tired for a reason.
Hey there.
Like, I'm gonna be real. The orange hair with that blue suit is just
Stunning.
It's not it.
not
love
working for you.
I love it.
Yeah, of course you would,
I think
Carrot
it's
Top.
amazing. Okay, fuck off.
Okay, fuck off. Your voice went a little bit higher.
Okay. I will tackle the shit out of you.
You need like a green suit with the orange hair.
There isn't a green suit, and green suits look. Well, no. I
Yeah.
can't say that because Ethan pulls them off.
So you can match Winnie's car, her brawler.
Oh my god.
Ah.
That fucking car. Oh my god. What?
What's our angle? To send somebody to jail?
Jack, fuck off. He's my friend, I can say
Our
that.
angle is using the defendant's own statement against her. The defendant gave a statement under Miranda to the officers.
Well, no, I see that. I know that. I've read that.
Yeah. So the angle is proving, is explaining that because she escalated the situation, she becomes the aggressor, meaning that because she shoots first, she's the murderer and not the victim. Or attempted murder.
Okay. And Exhibit G, how are we utilizing that?
I'm sorry, what?
Exhibit Golf, how are we utilizing
Golf?
Max Wilson?
Oh, that's the
Statement.
victim. It's the victim.
Yeah.
So it gets reiterated basically. So we basically have 3 statements. We have 2 statements that were taken shortly after the events. So that's recent memory statements. And then like a month later is when Kilson puts that on the docket. That's G, right? Let me double check.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then Kilson, the victim, comes back out. Even though he's saying, ha ha ha, the cops are gullible, I lied. He only lied about the reason why he was there, right? But because Nightingale doesn't know his motivations, it's completely irrelevant.
No, I agree.
So that part doesn't matter.
I
their statements line up. There's 3 statements and they all line up with who did what, right? So there's really no discrepancy
slap
of
him with
who
the
shot
briefcase.
first or who had their gun out. You can put all these things together in a timeline, and they're consistent enough to where you could say, okay, Valentina was walking down the street. She sees a car. She draws her gun because she feels threatened by a car rolling up on her, which that escalates the situation. Whether or not Wilson has gun out on his lap or not, she doesn't know that because she can't see that. By her own admission, she can't see into the car. So how can she see into the car? How can she see that that he has a gun on his lap or a gun at all if she can't even see in the car? She even says that she thought that the car was empty at one point as it was driving down the road. So she has no idea who's in the car, what they're doing, right? But whatever is going through Kilson's mind at that point, whether he was going to kill her there, kidnap her, whatever, it doesn't matter because there's no possible way for her to know that.
What?
Hmm.
Perfect. That's you're all good. I just wanted to know, just so that way I could listen out in regards to responses and.
Oh, do I sound? Am I coming off rude?
No,
No, I'm
no,
just
you,
getting,
no,
I'm
no,
getting
no,
myself
no.
hyped up.
Hey,
This is how I'm
darling,
going to be
darling,
presenting it in
darling.
court.
You are not coming across as rude. I just don't want you to feel like you have to go on an entire opening statement in regards to that piece of
You know,
evidence. Okay.
That's fair. He was totally going on a
Yeah.
fucking opening statement.
So that's why I was like, no, you're good. I promise you're not being rude. I just wanted to make sure that I knew your thought process going in this as your second chance. So then that way I can look at it from all angles for you.
I
Okay.
see. I apologize.
No, you are completely fine. I just did not want you feeling like you had to go all out, all overboard. Okay.
No, I appreciate you stopping me because I would have kept going.
Yep, I know that. That's why I stopped you. No, I just wanted to know.
Do you see a flaw in that, or do you think that's the right way?
No, it works. I just wanted to see your thought process so that way I can listen out to see how the defense is going to be arguing their side.
Yeah.
Then I can see what holes I can poke. Because we both know that they're going to utilize Exhibit G to try and say that she was rightful in defending herself, but we can easily add that she wasn't, that she upped the aggression. But I just wanted to make sure.
And that's in my opening and in my closing, so I cover that twice. And plus, that will come out hopefully it won't come out in questioning because we don't have the victim. But the officer might be able to. He'll be able to explain some things, and we'll read off the statements too. When they ask for a piece of evidence to be entered in, we'll ask that we'll enter those statements in evidence, and then I'm gonna ask the court if we can read the statements too. Read the statements aloud in court for everybody to hear.
Oh shit, guys! Look at the time.
Oh fuck!
Hey, let's go.
Wait,
Sonny, let's go.
Yeah.
Which court room is it?
I'm assuming courtroom 1.
Okay.
it's 2. I didn't see anybody going in here. Did you?
I'm actually gonna.
Yeah.
Put your phone on do not.
It says Occupation Street, Courthouse number 1.
Yeah. Room 1.
Buy some drinks.
No, it says courtroom 2.
Well, I know that there's someone in courtroom 1 that just came out and then went back in, so I'm assuming it's courtroom 1.
Wait, what?
Your name?
Yeah. What? It says number 2 for me. Oh, wow. It says number 1 now. Okay. Oh. Shit.
Based on they're gonna he's not a
Huh?
Is it my word or a weapon?
Your words are a weapon? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, hard to eat mean words.
I mean, that's. Oh, sorry, sir.
Like, when you walk up, judge your
My
status.
shield can be used as a weapon. Also, me attempting to sing can be a weapon.
Sorry, I
Hey,
didn't
cutie.
get you my notes of your,
Oh,
or read your notes. I didn't
that's
think the
okay.
case was today. I didn't know there was a case today.
Yep, it's all right.
Bert, I love how my friend who has no experience with the law or reading dockets somehow managed to figure
was
out
changed.
what courtroom it was.
It was changed silently. I just looked at my subpoena. It says number 2.
Oh, okay. Never
Oh.
mind then. I can't give you any shit then.
Is that
Oh,
Gary
so
Schuman's brother?
they're just slick.
That's what I thought.
Well, he's like, it's number 2. I'm like, I'm reading number
He's
1.
got a cat mask on. What the fuck?
Nobody know this love potion, okay?
It's a raccoon mask. It's
Good.
Kane's little
Uh,
thing.
No, there was somebody else that walked in with a cat
Oh.
mask.
Why did you tell me to fuck off earlier? That was kind of mean.
Sorry.
My feelings are hurt.
Position.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, assume the position. Assume the position. All right, and you're good.
Bonk.
If you want to go outside, I'll
apology,
show
Mom.
you how I feel.
Oh, okay.
I can't do it right here. There's a cop too close by.
Show me how you feel tonight and then when we get a room.
Alright.
What?
No?
Yo.
No.
boy.
Kidding!
See,
Did not realize I was talking that loud.
I love how everybody heard that, right? That was harassment.
I think everybody up to Reina. I don't
That
think
was-
Fedora up there heard it.
That's fine. That was
Alright, you're
definitely
good.
harassment.
I fell for
You want to see harassment?
God damn it!
That's harassment.
Also good.
That's assault.
That's actually battery.
Hello. I don't. Sure, why not?
All right, Mr.
And you're
Prosecutor,
good.
Tell me how it is.
Thank you very much.
Uh-huh. Wow. You're gonna bring a gun to the court case?
Maybe make that the district courts and lower support.
Okay. Back here. So,
the amount of people is really hurting my head.
I was looking at the question.
Okay.
Question
And it's
9
also messing with your voice a little bit.
of
Here.
Dana's questions. You said, what was
Alright,
Miss
Dana,
Nightingale's
can
state of
everybody
mind
important
like when you were on
please?
scene with her? The defense might object to.
That's fine.
No, the
Sonny.
defense might object
Oh.
due to.
Yes.
God damn it.
He's not a psych
What is
psych
the
expert.
problem?
You're in the way.
So if you have to re
Why am I in the
advise
way?
it, form it
Are you
more
not
like
in the
in your
case?
opinion, what was
What,
her
Kane?
state of mind like? That way,
Oh my god.
How'd that happen?
that way you
So,
are.
You're not gonna be able to do that. You have to come around through the,
That
through the
way,
actual doors.
you're not
Right.
asking her in a professional capacity
I got to
what
see it
the
needs to
person's
go.
state of mind was, but
Oh,
in
no,
her
ma'am.
civilian, everyday capacity.
We'll be back in
Yeah.
my head. One
I was
moment.
thinking about that. That's why I added in the what's your relationship
I think
with
you are
the
mean to
defendant at the
see
time
back
of the
there. You
incident because I
gotta
think
push
they were
me again.
coworkers. So I'm gonna say,
yeah.
well, Your Honor, they're coworkers, so she knows what she's like on a day-to-day basis. So I'd like
Yeah.
to know what she's
Go
like after shooting
around.
somebody.
Yeah, no, that is completely fair. I just,
Yep.
you might
No,
just
I
get a
appreciate
little
it.
bit of pushback on that
Mhm.
on the defense to just form it more in my opinion, if
Sorry to interrupt. You guys
hello.
ready? Hello.
Hello, Judge.
Ye-
Yes, I am.
Yes, we are ready, Your Honor.
Do you need some help?
Mental help, yes.
yeah.
Charlie
Oh.
Morgan said he'll try to afford.
Okay, that's not as
somebody-
comfortable as I thought.
thank you.
Just thought I'd
It's
mention
okay.
that before we went into court.
Yep.
I actually need to think about something really quick. Wait,
Your,
actually, I may well wait.
Your Honor, if you can just give us a moment, if all right. Apologies.
That's fine.
There you go. Oh. Cool. How often am I on Hunter? I try to be on Hunter often.
What is your problem?
Like as
Figure
often
it
as I
out,
can
bro.
be. Like I'm on it
If
whenever
you're
we
doing
get
this in the middle
a
of the court, I will ask for you to be content. You are being distracting.
It must be the blue suit with the orange hair.
I get it whenever we get a cell call or whenever I have court cases or court prep. And I also just get on her whenever I feel like, to be honest. I do get on her a bit.
Oh, never mind. What?
You want to do me a favor?
Potentially.
Oh my
I am
god,
whispering.
you are making him get up. It just got comfortable.
What's up?
So I'm gonna be listening, and I can't focus on listening. Time.
You want me to be your scribe?
Yeah, on the Nightingale prep. You can just be the scribe.
Do playing very loud music. Where the fuck is this thing? Where's this document? There it is. Nope, that's Kilson deposition.
Yeah, it's that.
Is it that document?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm golden.
Yeah, I got you, fam.
Um,
I'm also going to be kind of listening, so if I hear anything that's
you're good.
objectable, are you on the radio?
No.
Jump on the radio. If I hear anything, I'll
I
shout
didn't
it
bring
out
my
on the
radio
radio.
in here. They usually don't let you.
What? Bert,
Get good.
What?
did you not?
I left my radio in my car because usually they tell us no radios.
I got it.
There.
Anything.
Jack, can I borrow your radio? Can I borrow your radio? I'll give it back, promise. 732.
Also, make sure
Thanks, buddy.
you're on Do Not Disturb.
I wasn't going to be, but now that I'm actually doing something for this trial, I will be.
Yeah, just any notes that you put underneath the opening statement.
Say again.
Anything that you hear, anything that you're scribing, you can put either underneath the opening statements, or you can do it. Where would you want it, Bert? Where
Yeah.
do you want it on the dock?
Here, let me just do this.
Yeah, just underneath where. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, that's what
I'll go in between those two lines.
Yeah, go for it. So, yeah, we'll just go down up. Because obviously Bert will be focusing on the questions. So I'll have whatever you write in.
Okay.
Right.
Right.
We're good to let.
Sorry, what were you asking? I was trying to talk to them.
Gentleman with the black hat, you are talking pretty loud. You're good, man. Just
Alright.
down.
You wanna?
A little bit.
You
want me to let them know?
I think you know.
Oh.
Lily, can you guys hear him back?
I could.
Weird.
You ate, drank, like that.
Yeah, I'm all good.
I will try and be focusing on chat as much as I can, guys. If I do miss something, I apologize. I do have to make sure, like, I'm...
Bert, Rena, can you just turn around if you hear?
I do have to make sure, like,
I was gonna say, yeah, you guys can't really.
as well as also, and the notes will be on the second monitor. You know, times like this is when I wish I had 3 monitors.
We're just awaiting some security, and then we'll begin.
No problem.
Thanks, Doc.
Did you guys hear me?
Oh, sorry. What'd you say?
I said we're just awaiting some security, and then we'll begin.
Oh, great.
Yeah. Are you
Thank
guys
you.
ready when the judge is ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Get my charger for my
Well, I'm not good with this thing yet.
phone on charge. I'll use it as chat monitor. Give me a sec.
Ready when the judge is ready?
Yep. We're good.
Okay.
You pushing me closer to Doc?
Add that.
Cindy, the email video so far. I hope you are okay with that. Is Cindy the email to enough so far?
Ah, there we go. Okay. Beautiful. I have my chat up. Oh. Oh, I'm already tired. Tired, dog. Actually, give me a sec.
You think Winnie would call the defendant to the stand? Probably not, right?
Yes?
On. Keep me nice and warm. Though I feel like cold would be better, but
We already knowing this.
cold. Alright. We have a Ragnar. We have Amara as a Ragnar. Hey. Ugh.
I certainly hoping not.
Just for further confirmation, both sides ready?
Yes, sir.
What?
Prosecution?
Yes.
Perfect. It's going to be in the matter of 2023 CM 242, the City of San Andreas versus Valentina Nightingale. Sorry, correction, please hold. It's the old case. 2023 CM 300, the State of San Andreas versus Valentina Nightingale. Good afternoon, everybody. Before we begin today's proceedings, I want to remind everyone in the courtroom of the importance of maintaining decorum and respect. This is a court of law, and it is essential that all parties involved, including the attorneys, witnesses, spectators, and so on, conduct themselves accordingly. Before we begin, I'd like to specify courtroom rules that must be adhered to. Conversations should be kept to an absolute minimum and conducted in a whisper so as to not disrupt the proceedings. Respect for all parties is mandatory. Disruptive behavior, including heckling, laughing, or talking, will not be tolerated. Physical or verbal intimidation, harassment, or other forms of misconduct towards any participant will result in immediate expulsion from this courtroom. Any deviation from the rules or other courtroom protocols, such as but not limited to disruptive behavior, unsolicited outbursts, or any actions that contradict the statutes governing these proceedings, as well as the Constitution or our criminal code, will be met with appropriate sanctions. With that said, we can begin. Are both sides ready for their opening statements?
The state is, Your Honor.
Any defense?
I actually have a motion I would like to put in before.
Sure. Do you want to approach, or is it fine for the court?
It's fine for the court. I would like to motion to impeach Max Kilson as witness.
Under what grounds?
We have two instances of him providing contradictory statements. First, on line 1, in his statements he gave to police, and then the state's evidence G on line, I believe it's 8. Line 9, which show that the events as he tells them are directly conflicting, making him unreliable to trust either statement.
Actually, before we begin, does the state have a rebuttal?
Yes, Your Honor. So with those statements, the beginnings of them might contradict each other. However, the reason why we're here, the aspects of those statements that directly affect this case, not for joyriding or kidnapping or anything like that, are still on par with each other. And so the parts that matter for this case do not contradict each other.
And I'll allow one final rebuttal from the defense.
I would argue him misleading on his intent and the in what he was pulling over to do with Miss Nightingale speaks greatly to her response and the how she responded to that. The fact that we can't trust how we approach this situation means that we can't glean a lot of information from it that would be very pertinent to this case.
And a final rebuttal from the state.
Well, so basically, the fact that we can't have Max Kilson here today and he wasn't available for deposition, it's pretty much paramount to the case to be able to have those statements because we don't have any other way of cross-examining, and that's the only witness that actually witnessed the events, unless, of course, the defense wants to bring her defendant on the stand.
Okay. So I just want to revalidate. So Exhibit G, line 9 versus what is outlined in the statement of facts. Is that what you're stating?
Correct.
Okay. Give me a couple minutes to read and validate. Just for the sake of time, which part specifically in his statement deviates?
1 moment.
Gonna make a motion.
Basically, everything regarding to how he first interacted with Miss Nightingale. In particular, they say drove down slowly before pulling in front of her with my gun drawn and shouted at her as I saw her reaching. Don't do anything stupid. Basically, it speaks to a much different approach because the original statement was, I believe, saying that they were asking for directions.
Okay.
If I may, Your Honor.
Give me 1 moment. What is your statement going to be in regards to? Because I wasn't allowing any real rebuttals after the initial. What is it going to be in regards to?
I just want to say I think this is just best to have it come out in trial and for full explanation of the statements to come out during this trial. I think that's why we're here, in a sense.
So here's what I will say. As of right now, I will allow the statements, should they be continued to be submitted to this court. I will allow them. However, based on what has been advised by the defense as well as by Mr. Kilson's own admission that he physically lied to law enforcement, it won't hold nearly as much weight as it normally would. So I'll allow the submission, but it's not going to hold much weight. So we can proceed with opening statements.
Understood.
The state whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, the defense, the citizens Los Santos in attendance today, we are here due to the unfortunate events that took place on July 25th of this year involving the defendant Valentina Nightingale. We are fortunate enough to have a few statements taken shortly after the events that took place that day, one from the victim, Max Kilson, along with a secondary statement provided later, and we even have a statement from the defendant herself. So let's begin by breaking down what transpired based on the facts we do have by overlapping their recollection. The victim in this case, Max Kilson, by his own admission, stole a vehicle and started driving it around town. He then saw Miss Nightingale coming out of the public defender's office building and walked down the road. He approached her in his car, gun on his lap for his own safety. As he pulled up, before anything was ever even said between the two, she drew her firearm from her waistband. Naturally, like anyone would, when someone pulls a gun on you, Mr. Kilson pointed his readied firearm at her. He attempted to warn her, saying something along the lines of, "Don't do anything stupid," or "Don't even try it," clearly showing that he wasn't going to shoot if she didn't. But unfortunately, Miss Nightingale escalated the situation once more, this time all the way up to 100 real quick. It was at this moment, split seconds after the warning from Kilson, that she mag-dumped her firearm into his chest and head. To quote the defendant, "I pointed her firearm, at him, lining it up with his upper torso and head." Kilson also returned fire, but it wasn't enough. He was rendered incapacitated by a fury of fire from Nightingale. The defense will likely start their case by telling a tale of how the defendant was acting in self-defense. She felt threatened. They will stress. By the defendant's own statement, she was recently targeted a few times and felt unsafe. Personally, I can even relate. During the time of this incident, Public Defender's Office, DOJ, other government entities were heavily being targeted. Threats, kidnapping, shooting was a daily occurrence. With that being said, you still cannot draw a firearm on anyone who drives up to you or past you and use the excuse of feeling threatened as a valid defense. If you're near the public defender's building, for example, it's not unreasonable that someone who needs their services would park their car near the building. Or they may have seen you leave the office and might try to catch up to you and try and get your help. To jump right to the conclusion that this person was there to harm you, so you draw and brandish your gun, immediately makes you the aggressor. It is irrelevant what Mr. Kilson's mindset and own self-admitted motivations were that day. Why? Because as far as we're aware, Miss Nightingale is not a mind reader. And if the defense attempts to paint that picture, then show me where mind readers were entered into discovery. Thank you, Your Honor.
Whenever you're ready.
Hello, Your Honor, and all in attendance. This case today is one that I admit frustrates me as a defense attorney. This case is one where accounts were taken wildly out of context to drag an innocent woman through multiple trials, multiple courts, on the account of a documented, unreliable witness. We now arrive at today, exactly 3 months past when this case was originally filed. And I will now get a chance to lay out the proper narrative and context. The proper circumstances I will lay out today is this. Miss Nightingale left her place of employment as a lawyer in the public defender's office to walk just a few blocks away to the bank. Partway there, a vehicle speeds down the street and swerves abruptly up onto the sidewalk, inches from hitting her. It stops directly in her path, cutting her off from any chance of escape. Inside is Max Gilson, dressed in all black, masked, gun in his lap, in a stolen car. Miss Nightingale is understandably shocked after nearly being hit with a car. She has seconds to make a decision for her own safety, so chooses to err on the side of caution and pulls out her legal weapon to her side. She does not point it at Mr. Kilson immediately. She waits to see what is going to happen. And then when Mr. Kilson raises his gun, she then raises hers in response. Even then, she gives Mr. Kilson time to exit the situation. He's in a car. She's on foot. She doesn't fire immediately, but when Mr. Kilson doesn't disengage, they both open fire on one another. Miss Nightingale fires on Mr. Kilson only until he stops being a threat, and immediately then calls for medical assistance for him. Miss Nightingale followed H.R. 112, the San Andreas Self-Defense Act, to the letter. She was facing multiple examples of an imminent threat, with both the vehicle almost hitting her and with the gun being pointed at her. Her response was measured and proportional to the threat she was facing. It was not safe for her to flee the situation, and even if it were safe to do so, she is not required to flee under the Self-Defense Act. We are a stand-your-ground state. I hope, after everyone has heard the testimony and seen the evidence today, that they will join me in agreeing that this is an ironclad, cut-and-dry case of self-defense. Thank you.
The state, whenever you're ready, you can call your first witness or submit your first piece of evidence.
Yes, we will submit into evidence our exhibits A through G. And then we would like to also read the statements from Miss Nightingale and from the victim, Max Kilson, aloud in court.
Okay, 1 second. So A through. So here's my only concern. You have 2 exhibit Gs.
Yeah. So exhibit G that was submitted second. It was a typo that needed corrected.
Okay, so I'm reviewing all the evidence on line 6.
Line 6, disregard that exhibit G, and it's actually going to be the exhibit G that's submitted on line 9.
Okay, sure. Go ahead and start, and then I'll review everything after you're done.
Okay, we'll start with Miss Nightingale's statement that was given to police under Miranda with also counsel there, mind you. Miss Nightingale stated, I was in the PDO building when I saw a gray
Hurts.
muscle car stopped in the middle of the road. At the time, I didn't see anyone inside. The interior was far too dark. After I left the PDO building to walk down to the bank to collect my paycheck, when I heard tires squeal, I looked over my shoulder and saw the gray muscle car beginning to follow me. As I crossed the street, I looked again, and it was gaining on me. It then pulled in front of me, and I saw mostly blacked out person in the driver's seat. Due to the recent attacks and threats against the PDO and numerous personal threats against me from multiple gangs, including Lost MC and Ravens MC, I started to draw my firearm. At the same time, I witnessed him shuffling around near his waistband. I then noticed him start to point a firearm towards me, so I pointed mine at him, lining it up with his upper torso and head. He began to say, "Don't even try it," while pointing his firearm at me. So I pulled the trigger and shot at him multiple times. He returned fire, striking me in the vest around 3 times. I kept on firing until he was leaning against the steering wheel of his vehicle. I then called 911 stating that I had shot someone. I called Dana, asking her to come down, and then told her that I had shot someone. I then once again called 911, further explaining what happened. After a while, EMS arrived, and about a minute later, Dana did as well. I believe she also called LEO. And then Mr. Kilson's side of the story. I stole a car to get around in. I liked the car and wanted to know what it was. I went to a mechanic shop, but they were not open. I stopped on top of a road, and I don't remember what the road name was. I saw a girl walking down the road and figured I would ask her if they knew what it was. I had my gun in my lap because it's Los Santos and it is dangerous. I approached her, and she pulled her weapon as I pulled up. I pointed my gun and said, "Don't do anything stupid." She opened fire, and I returned fire in self-defense. I was shot down at this point. Statement. But then Mr. Kilson gives a second statement on the original filing of this docket, which would roughly about a month later, before the ruling by Magistrate Tarts, and I will read that as well. Give me a second. Entered into the docket on August 3rd, 2023. Mr. Kilson states, "To the courts, my name is Max Kilson. I am writing here today to inform you that the cops are gullible wannabes to the point they listen to anything and believe anything. Here is the truth. That day I was scared in the cells, so I lied my ass off. Truth is, I was planning to take her. I had my weapon drawn first. I was going to take her hostage and take her and use her in a robbery. So the truth is, she defended herself against me from trying to take her hostage. Right now, I am not in state as I am not well and getting medical, but I kept seeing my name in this, so I wanted to put an end to it. This is my statement below that is to be played in court. I was the aggressor, not her. At the time of being in the cells, I was scared as I hadn't been in a cell before, and it scared me, so my first reaction was to lie." Full statement. The day of the incident, I stole a vehicle at the top of the road near Aris Deli, and as I did, I looked around and saw a girl to the left of me coming out of a building. As I did, I said, "Easy, sweet pickings," so I drove down slowly before pulling in front of her. With my gun drawn, and shouted at her as I saw her reaching. Sorry, there's a lot of broken sentences here. With my gun drawn, and shouted at her as I saw her reaching, "Don't do anything stupid," and to put her hands up. That's when the first bolt was fired. At that point, a firefight broke out before I was downed. I was taken to Pillbox. When I was helped by Dr. Z, I was taken to RPD, where I lied to both my lawyer and the cop, stating I was going to ask her about the car and what car it was, but the guilt of doing that and the trouble I have caused is what is making me admit to my guilt, so I get a better consciousness. I started this shit and admit my guilt. I would also like to apologize to all parties in this in this, especially Valentina, the girl I tried to take hostage, but we all have to make our money one way or another. Max, signed Max Kilson.
Can everyone approach really quickly?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
So I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but you literally, by your own statement, proved that it was self-defense. Max Kilson was trying to take her hostage, and she defended herself.
Right, and that's what we'll explain is that there's no way Valentina would have known that, so her knowing his intentions is completely irrelevant.
I'll allow us to continue, but I don't know how you're going to get out of it. Because to an extent, I agree with you, but you're going to have to prove that she didn't know.
Okay.
Yeah, because I almost was ready to make my ruling, but if you have more, then we can proceed. But
yeah.
Okay. All right.
No problem.
Is there anything else, or does everything what I'm saying make sense though? I'm just concerned because
So at first glance, yes, because the officer also thought the same thing. But when you take into the totality of the circumstances and you cross-reference their stories and see that a lot of it matches up, the order of events is what matters when they meet, and that's what we're going to show.
Okay. All right. We can continue then.
I mean, is that a fuck up or what?
Okay, was that all of the reading that you wanted to do?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Was that all that you wanted to read before I just review the rest of the exhibits?
Yes.
Okay, just give me a couple minutes to review all the exhibits, and then we can proceed with whatever's next, okay? Okay, excuse me. Your next piece of evidence or next witness.
We would like to call Officer Lyons to the stand, please.
Lord. You don't go into the well.
Hello.
Hello.
Would you like an oath or an affirmation?
Oath is fine.
All right. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right. He's been sworn in.
Thank you.
This make me more nervous.
Okay, officer, can you please state your name,
PD.
department, and rank for the record?
Patrick Lyons, LSPD, and I'm a corporal.
Thank you. And how long have you been with the in that position and on the force?
In the position right around 20 days or so. on the force about 7 months.
Thank you, thank you. And do you recall arriving on scene of the shooting that took place between the defendant and Max Kilson?
Yes, I do.
Did you write the report for this incident?
Yes, I did.
Did you collect the evidence on scene for this incident?
Yes, I did.
And how were you first notified of this shooting?
I cannot recall what the previous scene I was on. It was a very busy evening for us. I do remember getting seeing alerts of shots fired on San Vitus Boulevard. Intending to address those as soon as I was finished with the scene I was at, as all other officers were currently tied up. And then I did also receive multiple 911 calls from Miss Nightingale as well as Dana as well. And that's when I actually was finishing up with what I was currently working on and making my way to that scene.
And when you arrived, what did you initially see?
When I arrived on scene, Mr. Kilson was being tended to by fire and rescue. Is it Frank Gavin on the sidewalk, and Miss Nightingale and Dana were on the sidewalk as well, talking, and I immediately approached them to figure out what was going on in the situation.
And do you recall anyone saying anything about what happened before you took any action or asked any questions?
All I remember hearing was the 911 calls coming in saying that Miss Nightingale had shot somebody. When I arrived on scene, that was essentially what I was. That's the only information I had as I got there, pretty much.
Did you arrest both suspects?
At the time, I did arrest. I arrested Kilson for joyriding as well as unlawful possession, if I'm not mistaken, because he had an unregistered firearm on him. And the vehicle that he was in was not registered to him as well. Or it was flagged as stolen, if I'm not mistaken. And I detained Nightingale and brought her down to RPD for questioning to continue the talk we had to have.
And why were both suspects arrested and not just one?
Because, originally, at the time, Miss Nightingale was not arrested. She was just being detained for the questioning, mainly because my point of view, it was a firefight that was happening, and I could not ascertain at the exact moment who was the aggressor in the situation. But after receiving statements and speaking with DOJ later on, the warrant went out for the arrest of Nightingale. She was arrested, I believe, a couple days later.
Why was the public defender's office conflicted out of this case?
Because Miss Nightingale was a member of the public defender's office at the time.
And were they both read their Miranda rights?
Yes, that is a big habit of mine. The moment I put her in cuffs, the Miranda rights are read.
And did Kilson give his statement after being informed of his rights?
Yes, he was taken to pillbox and treated, and then taken to RPD afterwards, again for questioning. And after he'd been treated and was considered stable and released by the doctors at pillbox, I then read him his rights.
And same thing for Nightingale. Was she also read her rights before giving her statement?
Correct.
Did they have counsel present as well before giving their statements?
I do believe that yes. So Kilson had counsel present. If I'm not mistaken, I believe Nightingale waived her right to counsel. She was self-representing.
And so then, I'm sorry, hold on. And did you confer with the Department of Justice on this issue?
Yes, I did. There was no current Department of Justice on duty at the time, and I reached out. Did not have any available at the moment. I believe it was 2 days later. I spoke with a couple of Department of Justice members about the situation, and they advised me to write the arrest warrant at that point.
So what was the determination that was made between yourself and the DOJ for that warrant?
Due to the statement of facts that Ms. Nightingale provided, with exactly what happened on scene with the shooting, that she did not meet the requirements for the set forth by self-defense here in the state of San Andreas.
Thank you. No further questions.
Sorry, can you repeat the last question and answer?
Last question was, what was the determination made by the Department of Justice and law enforcement, Miss Officer here, upon further review of the incident?
Can you repeat your answer, please?
And it was the fact that at the situation, based on the statement by Miss Nightingale herself, that due to the facts of that statement, she did not meet the requirements for self-defense in the state of San Andreas.
Okay, thank you.
No further questions.
Just give me 1 second before I allow the defense to proceed. Excuse me. All right. Whenever you're ready.
No problem. Hello, Corporal.
Hello.
Hey, some quick questions. Did you GSR test both parties?
I believe I did. Yes, for both. I know I 100% know for a fact that I GSR tested Wilson. I cannot recall, as again, this was 3 months ago, whether or not I GSR test Nightingale. But she did admit on scene again to shooting the person.
You were the person who cataloged all the evidence on scene, correct?
Objection, Your Honor. Asked and answered.
Okay, that's fine. What were casings found for both parties?
Correct.
Thank you. When you arrived, where was the gray muscle car in relation to the street?
It was partially on the sidewalk. The front two wheels were roughly on the sidewalk. The back portion of the car was still in the roadway, so it's kind of catty-cornered, angled onto the sidewalk.
Understood. So if you're looking at line 6 of the docket, Exhibit A, does that photo reflect where the car was when you arrived?
Yes, it does.
Perfect. Thank you. In your experience as a police officer, in the unfortunate situation in which you're forced to fire on someone, where do you aim?
Center mass.
Center mass. Okay. And in that unfortunate circumstance, when do you stop shooting?
Realized.
Understood. Your Honor, were you able to hear that answer? It was a little cut off for me.
No, I didn't.
When
Can
the
you
threat
repeat that?
when the threat is neutralized.
Thank you. That's it for me.
Anything further from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Are we fine with releasing? Are you under subpoena?
Yeah, I'm under subpoena.
Yes.
Yeah. Are we good to release him?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
All right. You're free to leave the court as you so please. You can release from your subpoena. Thanks for your time. And your next evidence or next witness?
Yes, we'd like to call Frank Gavin to the stand, please. If he's here.
Is Mr. Gavin not here? Give me 1 second. I'll check the scheduler really quickly.
He did tell me he would be here, but
I wish. Said it before I could even say anything.
He
He
did
said no.
not mark his availability for 8 o'clock. Unless he changed it. Give me one moment.
I was gonna go more into depth.
He changed it.
The
Wait, no, he didn't.
determination.
Did he? But he did inform you that he would be here today.
yeah, I reached out to try and
the
get an affidavit.
injuries that
He said that
he
he planned to be
witnessed.
here.
Okay.
I was gonna go into.
Do you have anything else or anyone else to contact? And you can email him while you do the rest of whatever else you have to present to the court.
Yeah. Do you want me to email him first?
Yeah, email him really quickly and then you can proceed.
One of my main rebuttals was getting him to talk about the determination. Like, what in her statement made you believe that it was not self-defense? Because our entire claim is proving that it wasn't self-defense, and no real questioning that we had determined that. Like, it was all
Okay, we'll see what happens. I
pretty
also
wish-wash.
have Miss Dana Delaney, referred to as Dana Savages in this report at the time.
Literally had nothing was really done in relation to the questions about
I like to call her to stand.
Yeah, approach whenever. Sorry.
Yeah. Like, it was all about, were they both arrested?
Where do you want me?
Were they both read their rights?
Hi. Thank you for coming to me.
Were they informed of their
Would
rights
you
when
like
they gave their statements?
confirmation or an oath?
That does not prove
I guess.
it was self-defense or
You swear to
not.
tell the truth, the whole truth, and
The one
nothing but the
question that we
truth, so help
needed
you
was the
God?
determination.
Yeah. All right. She has been sworn in.
And we need to recall him.
Over here on the side. You can go on the other side there.
The other side, please.
We'll recall him. I'll tell Bert that we need to recall him.
I'm trying to straighten my chair.
We'll be good of.
And Your Honor, Mr. Gavin did say he's on his way.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. Ma'am, can you please state your name for the record?
My full name?
Yes.
Oh God. Okay.
Or the name that we need in reference to this case.
Dana Delaney. There we go.
I appreciate that. And
Left
what
out
was
my full
your...
nicknames.
That's okay.
Middle
And what
names.
was your occupation at the time of this incident?
At the time of the incident, I do believe I was the Assistant State Public Defender for the Public Defender's Office, although I may have been a senior defender.
And what was your relationship with the defendant at this time?
I was her superior.
And do you recall arriving on scene of the shooting that took place between the defendant and Max Gilson?
Yep.
The defendant says in her statement that she called you after calling 911. Did she say that to you over the phone? Or I'm sorry, what did she say to you over the phone when she called you?
I can't give a confident answer to that. That would be truthful because it happened so long ago and my memory is not that great. The only thing I can say for sure is that she definitely when I arrived on scene, EMS was there, so I can only assume that she called 911.
Is there anything you recall that she said to you though over the phone, or?
She said that she had shot somebody and she wanted me to come down there. I was currently up in Toledo with my friend Nico.
When you arrived on scene, what did you see?
I saw he was still messed up and he was in the car. EMS was there, and then Valentina was standing nearby, I think on the sidewalk. Yeah.
Did the defendant say anything to you when you arrived?
She did, but I don't remember what.
Okay, no problem. And did you call the police?
I think so. Pretty sure I did.
So being her superior and you working with her, what was Miss Nightingale's state of mind when you saw her on scene, when you were on scene with her?
I think she was. She was acting like she was relatively calm and collected, but I could tell that she was still distressed.
Can you describe her physical body language, anything out of the ordinary that you would normally see from her?
I didn't notice anything really out of the ordinary for her. She was. Honestly, I can't really give a competent answer. Like I said, I don't remember.
Yeah, it has been a while.
Yeah.
So it's understandable. But
Sorry.
would you say that it's pretty business as usual with her when you saw her?
I would say I wouldn't say business as usual. I would say there was an added layer of distress, given the situation that had unfolded, whatever it may be.
Okay, thank you. No further questions from the state.
The defense?
Hello, Miss Delaney. Or Mrs.
Hello.
Sorry. One question. Before this day in July 25th, do you recall the threats that the PDO was facing at the time?
Oh God. I'll be frank with you. We received a lot of threats. So, one specifically from July 25th, I couldn't say with true confidence. That may have been, they may have been the what are they called? The Whisperers, who were threatening us at that time. I don't really recall too many others. I hadn't personally been threatened, so it's a bit hard to truly say.
Absolutely. You do recall, though, that there were imminent, or recent threats to members of the PDO right around that time of the incident.
Yeah, there definitely were multiple people threatening, but I don't remember who. I thankfully was never on the other end of those threats, so.
Understood. That's all. Thank you.
Anything else from the state?
Yeah, we just have. Hi, Ms. Delaney.
Hello.
So you clarified that obviously the public defender's office was receiving threats around this time. Do you know if any of those threats were actually carried out?
I do vaguely recall a few of our members getting hurt at that time. I believe one of them was I believe it was Phoenix Hayes. I know that there was threatening notes left by the office. If it's the threats I was thinking of with the Whisperers, we did have somebody leave a note outside of our office that was threatening in nature. I don't remember too much though.
So you can't say within absolute certainty any of the threats were actually carried.
No, I can't say with any certainty that they were, but I do know that there were threats being made, and we were having to like lock the doors to the office and all that stuff, just for extra security.
And when you worked at the public defender's office, did you fear for your life?
particularly any more than I did just existing in Los Santos. I have a pretty good relationship with people, so I didn't really feel that threatened.
And are you aware of any direct threats that Miss Valentina experienced? Do you ever talk about them at work?
Not that I can recall, no.
Delaney, that's all our questions, Your Honor.
Defense, anything, or are you good?
All good, thank you.
Okay. Can we release her from her subpoena?
No problem with that.
Yes.
You've been released from your subpoena. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
State.
I believe Mr. Gavin is here now. I'd like to call him to the stand.
You can approach.
You can go up to Winifred over there. Yep.
Nope, that's me.
Willow, sorry.
Hello. Would you like an oath or an affirmation? Oh, you'll be sitting on the other side, though.
Oh, we're just like, I'll take the affirmation.
All right. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I swear.
All right. He's been sworn in.
After he's been seated, whenever you're ready.
70-point turn back into place.
Okay. Could you please state your name, department, and rank for the record, please?
Frank Gavin, San Andreas Fire and Rescue Department, Captain.
And how long have you been in that position with your department?
As a captain, I've been in position for 3 months now.
Perfect. And again, since it's been a little while, do you recall arriving on scene of the shooting that took place between the defendant, Max Kilson?
I vaguely recall.
Aaron Dino, thank you for the follow, man. Thank
Understandable.
You.
Do you recall how you were first notified of the shooting?
I believe it was a 911 call.
And when you arrived, what did you initially see?
I think there was 2 ladies on the sidewalk, and the car was facing southwest, parked like on the side of the road, the curve and sidewalk. The individual was in the driver's seat, wearing a leather jacket. The car was 4 doors.
How do people normally say your name? Is it not Mark? The
driver being
Aaron
Mr.
Dino.
Kilson.
Yes.
And
Normally said.
what steps did you take after you arrived?
Since the driver of the vehicle was the patient, I started checking the injuries before extracting the patient from the vehicle to proceed with the treatments, and then I later transported the patient to pillbox. While I was treating the patient, a police officer arrived on the scene and started taking statements.
And what injuries to the victim, Mr. Kilson, did you assess on scene?
Macaroon.
So
sorry for you.
I checked. There's no report about it. And I don't recall from memory.
Understandable. So
Welcome, Mark. We're currently at court and losing.
That is all the questions I would have then. If since you're not really remembering too much about the situation, which is understandable.
Yeah.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Anything from the defense?
Yes, sir. Just we'll give it a go. Oh, Mr. Gavin.
Damn, you are close to the witness.
Oh, we'll check this. When you first arrived on the scene, do you recall speaking to Miss Nightingale?
Not specifically, other than like they were injured or not.
When he doesn't remember anything, you know.
Like
okay.
My attention was turned to the patient, while the person that had the most severe injuries that was unconscious.
No problem. That'll be it then. I appreciate you.
State?
Nothing further here.
Okay, can he be released from his subpoena?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh.
I want
Thank
to
you for your time. You've been
recall
released from your subpoena.
Officer Lion.
We would actually like to. Could we actually recall Officer Lyons to the stand?
Is he still in the court?
Yes.
Well, look, can you swear him in because we released him?
Yes. Oath or affirmation?
Oath's fine.
Alrighty. Do you swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
He has been sworn in again.
Thank you. Whenever you're ready.
I'm just gonna stay in this chair. It's gonna.
Yeah.
Rolly.
Yeah.
Do I have permission to enter the well?
Of course.
Hey, Corporal Lyons. Just a quick follow-up question. You made the determination that Miss Nightingale did not meet the burden for self-defense. Can you go into more detail in regards to that?
Sure. Let me. Can I? Is it okay if I pull up the penal code on what the burden of self-defense actually says, just to remind myself on it?
Is there any objection?
The objection would be that the penal code has a vastly truncated version of self-defense, so it would not be entirely comprehensive.
Right.
Your
What's
Honor,
the bill then? Otherwise, I can go to that one too.
Yeah, Your Honor, we could happily reference the bill, considering that the defense referenced it in their statement. The state has no objections. You just give Officer Lyles a moment to be.
It's HR 112, the Senator's Self-Defense Act.
I always try and
Perfect,
ask
thank
permission before
you.
I go into the well. Like, I do not like. I'm allowed.
Okay, so the biggest parts were when speaking with DOJ was Section 6, the criteria for self-defense. Oh, hang on one second. Bear with me. Correction. It's section 8, part of section 8. The defendant must reasonably believe that there was an actual or specific threat requiring immediate action, due to the fact that in her statement she stated
Also exhausted.
second, maybe see the statement so I can get the exact wording. That she pulled her firearm at her side when she saw the individual shuffling around in his waistband inside the vehicle. She then pointed her firearm at him as he was raising a gun, and then he started, and then pretty much shot first based on what she said in her statement, and actually incapacitated him prior to any threat being 100% proven to her person.
Just checking that. To see.
Yep, that's it. Go ahead.
And that was the only factor that made it so that you did not classify as self-defense.
Right. Yeah, that's what when I spoke with DOJ, there was part of their reasoning to actually push the attempted murder charges.
Thank you very much. Corporal Lyons, state has no.
Sorry, defense.
Yes.
Build that ground for you.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that.
Hello again.
Hello.
In your experience in law enforcement, if someone points a gun at you, do you consider that an imminent threat?
Yes, I do consider it an imminent threat. Yes.
Thank you. That's all.
Okay, what was the question one more time? I heard the answer.
If in his opinion in law enforcement, if someone points a gun at him, does he consider it an imminent threat?
Okay. State.
Yeah, we have a rebuttal, Your
Okay.
Corporal Lyons, how often do you guys in law enforcement get into standoffs with individuals?
Almost a daily basis.
And how often does law enforcement shoot first in those standoffs?
Very rarely. We tend to try to de-escalate the situation before moving to lethal force.
Even if there is an immediate threat against your life?
Yes. Yeah. More often than not, a gun is raised at us like very, very consistently. Either it's out or pointed at us. At a lot of scenes, we will give warnings to lower more often than not. And it's a case by case basis, but yes, more often than not, we do give the commands to lower their weapons prior.
And in your professional opinion, with what Mr. Kilson did by saying don't do anything, lower the weapon, that would be a form of trying to de-escalate?
Yes.
Objection.
What's the grounds of the objection?
Speculation.
Your Honor, we're asking in his personal opinion as a law enforcement officer who has extensive de-escalation training, if words like that, which he literally just stated in a statement, he uses on a day-to-day basis, would be in forms of a de-escalation tactic. There's not room for speculation.
I'll overrule the objection.
Boom! And thank you, Corporal Lyles. We have no further questions.
And state.
Defense, I'm sure you mean.
Sorry. Yeah.
You're good. Hello. One more time. Last thing. Do citizens of San Andreas, are they held to the same standards as a police officer?
Can you describe what you mean in what sense?
So police officers have standard operating procedures, force matrix, things like that, correct?
Yes, we do.
Other than the HR 112, which we have gone over, does a standard citizen have to operate under your SOPs or procedures?
No, they do not.
Okay, that's all.
All right, you can step down. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
As much help as I think I can give.
Oh, you did wonders.
Anything further from the state?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Okay, with the state resting, does the defense have any witnesses or evidence they'd like to submit?
Yes, sir. We would like to call Valentina Nightingale to the stand.
Oh,
She may
what?
approach.
You're giving us this They're giving this as a cross?
Hi. You can sit over there, but I'll do your oath or affirmation here.
Do you
Which
want
would
to
you
handle
prefer?
this one?
Oh, this is gonna be a very interesting one.
I'm sorry, what was
Make
that?
sure you're shouting, by the way.
I'll see what
Oh,
her,
all
I'll
right.
see what her answers are.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the
Whether
whole
you take it
truth,
or not.
and nothing but the truth, so help
Right.
you God?
But they do understand that she's technically
Yes, I
classified as
do.
a hostile witness, which means
All
I
right,
can
you've
lead
been
every
sworn
single
in,
question
and you
if I
can go
want
have
to.
a seat on the other side.
Like,
Hello, Valentina.
Hello?
Hey, so on July 25th, just prior to the events that led to this court case, what were you doing?
I was sitting at the PDO office after just being out and catching up on paperwork.
Lovely. And then you went to leave your office. Is that correct?
Duh, it is.
When you went to leave your office, you see?
I looked to my left and saw a vehicle parked at an angle just down the road. I didn't see anyone in it. It had also been sitting there for about 10 minutes, which was when I first entered the building, to the time that I left.
Understood. Your Honor, I would like to introduce Defense's Exhibit 1. It's on line 8. Mrs. Nightingale, if you could also pull that up.
That.
Let me know
Okay.
when both you guys have that. Okay.
I have it open.
Okay. In this photo, there is a red muscle car. Would the location of that red muscle car be accurate in relation to where you are for this particular incident?
Yes, it is very accurate.
Glad they brought that up.
Why were you not worried about that car when you left?
anything you have.
Because on that street, a lot of local vehicles often get abandoned there, and it had also been sitting there for 10 minutes, give or take, and I had not seen anyone inside of it at that time. Yeah.
All right, so you leave. What happens after that?
After I left, I started walking down to the bank. I heard tires squeal, and I saw the muscle car starting to move. I then proceeded to cross the street. The light turned red for the direction in which the muscle car would have been going. I then continued down the road, and I looked over my left shoulder to see the muscle car start running that red light. I proceeded to start running down the street, and then the vehicle pulled in front of me, nearly striking me. Yeah.
How close was that vehicle when it did stop?
If I had been any faster, I would have been in the grill.
Your Honor, I would like to introduce Defense's Exhibit 2, same line. Valentina, please also pull that up.
Yep.
All right, I have that.
In this photo, we have the red muscle car, again, as a stand-in with an actor driving. Does this match where you recall the gray muscle car was when it stopped in front of you?
Quite accurate, yes.
The car was up on the sidewalk, correct?
Yes, it was.
Did you consider that normal or safe way to drive?
No, I do not.
What did you do when that vehicle stopped in front of you on that sidewalk?
After it nearly hit me, I backed up slightly and started to draw my gun. At the same time, I also noticed the alleged victim, Mr. Kelson, reaching around his waistbelt. Yeah.
Did you feel like let me rephrase this. Actually, what happened after you pulled your gun to your side?
After I pulled my gun to my side, well, actually, just before I finished drawing it to my side, so I was, how do I put this? If my holster was on my right-hand side, my hand was about here by the time that Mr. Kilson started drawing his firearm and started pointing it at me. It's my bad. Yeah.
Understood. So we would like to bring Your Honor's attention to Defense Exhibit 3. Valentina, please also pull that up as well.
Yep.
So again, we have in this photo, it's a recreation. We have an actor playing Mr. Kilson. You are holding a flashlight as a stand-in for your gun, and he is pointing his finger as a stand-in for Mr. Kilson's gun. In this photo, we noticed that the actor for Mr. Kilson is pointing that finger at you while you have your flashlight to your side. Is that accurate to where he was with his gun by the time you made the choice to draw yours or bring yours up, rather?
That is quite accurate. Yes. Yeah.
Okay, what happened after you raised your gun?
After I raised my gun, I backed up to the left slightly. So, Your Honor, do you mind if I use my lawyer as a stand-in for a moment? Yeah.
Is there any objection from either the attorney or the state?
No.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. So if Miss Baker here is the driver, and she is the driver, and Miss Baker, can you please look that way? Thank you. If she's the driver there and she is pointing her firearm towards there, I was about here, give or take. I then pointed my firearm and backed to the back and left. If you look at the recreation photo, you can see that there is a barrier between myself and Mr. Kilson, a slight barrier. I backed myself up to there, and he slightly moved his vehicle back to get a better angle on me. There. Thank you. That is all.
So, to clarify here, you pulled your weapon and then tried to step back into his blind spot to sever that threat. Is that correct?
That I did my best. Yeah.
And then you said that he then adjusted his vehicle to maintain his gun on you.
Slightly, yes. Yeah.
At what point did bullets then get exchanged?
After a good, I want to say 5 to 6 seconds of us pointing our firearms at each other, and him adjusting his vehicle, I then decided that I did not want to be buried in a grave, and I pulled the trigger. Yeah.
Understood. I actually want to backtrack a bit. What was Mr. Kilson wearing in the vehicle?
He was wearing black pants, a brown leather jacket, and a black long sleeve shirt, I believe, gloves, and a black respirator, I believe it was. Yeah.
Understood. At what point did you stop firing?
As soon as I saw him drop his firearm is when I stopped firing. That was 9 shots after. Yeah. Yeah. So I fired in total 9 shots, and then he dropped his gun.
When you were standing to the side of the vehicle, what parts of his body could you see?
From the angle that I was on, majority of his head and partial of his back right torso and middle torso. Yeah.
Did you have an opportunity to hit any other target but you could see?
Negative.
Did you call 911?
Yes, I did, almost immediately after.
How many times did you call 911?
I called them twice. Yeah.
When Saffir arrived, what did you do?
When Saffir arrived, Mr. Gavin started to walk towards me. I believe he asked if I was alright. It was quite a while ago. I don't remember exactly what he said, but he did speak to me. I pointed him away from me and said that the person was in the vehicle and they needed treatment more urgently than I did. Yeah.
Understood. That's all for now. Thank you.
State.
One moment.
Sorry. Hello. All right. So, in your original statement that you gave law enforcement, you stated that the interior was dark. What exactly made the interior dark?
The distance from myself to the vehicle. If you look at the first recreation photo, you can barely see the person in a bright white shirt, and a person in very dark clothing would be nearly impossible to see from the distance that I was at. Near.
So this event took place at night.
It not at night, but it wasn't full light. Near.
Can you define not full light?
Give me one moment. Yeah. If you are looking at any of the recreation photo, at the third recreation photo, sorry, it was a little bit darker than that. Yeah.
If you're looking at all three recreation photos,
At the
the time
third
hasn't
recreation
massively
photo.
changed. So would that not count as technically nighttime?
Personally, I do not believe it would count as nighttime. It's more dawn or dusk. Yeah.
You stated Mr. Kilson was messing around with his waistband, correct?
That. Yeah.
And how do you automatically assume that someone fidgeting in their seat going to point a weapon?
It was not that he was fidgeting in his seat, it is the fact that he had his right hand, which is generally people's firing hand, shuffling around near his waist belt, where most often than not, someone carries a firearm.
So let's say I am sitting in my car and I move my hand to the right hand side of my pocket to take out a wallet, for example, that would make you assume that I'm going to pull a firearm on you.
No, because you didn't almost hit me with a vehicle.
In your original statement, you never stated that he almost hit you with a vehicle.
One moment. Yeah.
Also, not a question.
Oh, sorry, I apologize. I thought I finished the second part of my statement on that one. My apologies. In your statement, you never specified that the vehicle was going to hit you. You stated that he sped up and pulled in front. Is that correct?
That, but it wasn't entirely accurate.
So what you're telling me is that your original statement to law enforcement was incorrect. Is that correct?
That.
So in that case, the threats made against you were also fabricated, correct?
Negative.
Objection.
Oh, she just stated, Your Honor, that her statement to law enforcement was incorrect. That means that everything in her statement could be fabricated, that we actually have no idea at this point that she was, if she was lying about the vehicle nearly hitting her, him reaching near his waistband. I don't see how that's
the grounds for. First of all, what's the grounds for the objection?
I can think of a couple, but let's start with inflammatory.
Okay. This is a state of an objection to it being inflammatory.
Like I said, Your Honor, she just admitted under oath that her entire report to law enforcement was incorrect.
I have a response.
Go ahead.
She said it was incorrect, not that the entirety was false. It's a huge leap.
And I'm gathering grounds on finding out what part of her statement that she gave law enforcement was incorrect. That goes to asking whether the threats made against her were incorrect or not.
by putting words in her mouth that it was entirely fabricated.
I can happily reword the question. If that is the intent of defense.
Well, who took the statement? Was it her own statement, or did someone take her statement?
I believe it is the statement that she gave while under Miranda. She wrote herself.
She wrote her statement down and gave it to law enforcement.
Okay. Yeah, just rephrase.
You stated in the statement that you handled law enforcement officers that you were being threatened by multiple gangs in the city. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
And was it your intent to give false information in your statement? Give it to law?
No, it was not.
So why did you give in factual evidence to law enforcement?
Because at the time there was a lot of adrenaline running through my veins, and the shock that I had just shot someone and possibly nearly had died had been setting in. Yeah.
Okay, but knowing full well that you gave in factual evidence, you could have easily spoken to law enforcement a couple of days later, especially at your time of arrest, and clarified the mistakes. Do you not?
I didn't know that the arrest warrant was placed against me, and if you remember correctly, I don't know, or if you knew about it, I wound up in the hospital after I was arrested, so no, I do not believe I did have the time. Yeah.
Your Honor, it is unsure on whether or not some of her statements within the statement of facts that she gave to law enforcement is correct or not, and it would take a very long time to be able to go sifting all of it. I motion that we impeach the witness, Your Honor, as I'm alive.
Is there a rebuttal? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm happy to toss out her original statement entirely if that is a problem.
Negative, Your Honor. She gave it to law enforcement knowing full well that law enforcement was going to use it in her investigation. You could not use it at the very end of a court trial after bringing her on the stand to throw out her original statement. Her original statement was what led to her original arrest. Her changing details and adding and taking away details that she knew willingly under Miranda was going to be used against her. She cannot just take that back.
So I'm very reluctant to. Are you trying to impeach, or are you trying to throw out the statement? I'm sorry. Let's start there.
I'm motioning to impeach the witness. She is motioning to throw out the original statement.
I'm very reluctant to do so, as I mean, the exact same thing could be said about Mr. Kilson's statement. I mean, he deliberately lied and admitted to lying for his own benefit on a docket. So what I will likely do is the exact same thing I did with Mr. Kilson. Instead of impeaching, I will take both of their statements with less weight.
All right. We still have a couple more questions.
Go ahead.
How soon after were shots exchanged? After you pulled your firearm out, your holster?
About 5 to 6 seconds, as I stated last time. Yeah.
Sorry, can you?
About 5 to 6 seconds, yeah, give or take.
In the statement on the docket, Mr. Kilson stated that he approached you and then shouted something similar along the lines of "Don't do anything stupid." Do you recall him saying that or anything similar?
Not entirely. I remember he did say something. What exactly? I don't remember specifically.
In your statement, you stated that the vehicle cut you off. But if we look at both recreational photos, if we look at the recreational photo as well as the evidence photo, the area in front of you would be wide open. So how exactly did he nearly hit you?
I was walking along. So, if this little bar here is the curb, I was walking right here, and he pulled in front of me, nearly hitting me. Like, it was very close. I basically brushed up against the car. If I'd been any faster, as I stated last time, I would have been in the grill.
Miss Nightingale, in your own statement you gave to police, you even said that Mr. Kilson said to you, "Don't even try it." So, why is your story once again changing here today in court?
I did not change my
Objection.
story.
What's the objection?
Badgering.
Yeah, I wouldn't say bad.
Is there a rebuttal from the saying?
You
It seems like a pretty obvious question to ask.
That's not how you rebuttal that. That is not how you rebuttal that.
Okay, I'll overrule.
Yep.
Am I to answer the question, Your Honor?
Yes, but just you're on a thin line because it is bordering. I don't think you've met the
Oh
criteria
my
for
God.
badgering yet, but
I don't know how he got away with
you're,
that one.
you're on a thin line. You can answer the question.
That's a
Could
very
you
thin
please
line.
repeat the question? Yeah.
Yeah, so in the original statement that you gave the police time, even in your own statement, you said in here, he began to say, "Don't even try it," while pointing his firearm at me. So, when my partner here asked you if he said something along the lines of "Don't even try it" or "Don't do something stupid," you stated, "No, he didn't say that." So I am
Testifying.
asking you now,
I would
why are
object
you
to
once again
testifying.
changing your story in court?
Objection. Testifying.
Yep.
I'm just reiterating the question.
That is not what she said.
And can you shorten it to be very? I know you can't probably get the exact same question, but if you can paraphrase.
Why are you changing your story again when you stated just earlier today that you did not hear him say? Hold on.
Oh. He said this out of pure anger or like rage.
You stated earlier
You could tell
that you did not hear him say, "Don't even try it" or "Don't do something stupid." But in your statement, you did say you heard that. So why is your story changing again?
Objection. Again. Testifying. That is not what she said.
I shortened my. That is almost exactly the way I asked it the first time.
Not about what you said. You're saying what she said and you're saying it incorrectly. She said, "I don't remember," not that it didn't happen. Everyone has had problems remembering today.
Wouldn't the defendant review her statement before coming to trial?
Say
Pretty
the same with
important.
the police.
Pretty important.
Yeah, I'm gonna sustain. Let's move on from the question.
Do you have anything?
In your statement today, you informed the court that Mr. Kilson moved his vehicle when you pointed your firearm and moved to get a better angle. Yet in your original statement, you never clarified this. So how much exactly did he move?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. All right. As I said, he slightly moved the vehicle, barely enough for me to really notice a major difference. But
The state has no.
I have one. I actually have one more. I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead.
Ms. Nightingale. So earlier you stated that there was about 5 to 6 seconds between when he pointed his gun, when you guys were pointing each other's guns at each other, and you shooting. Correct? Just to clarify.
Yes.
Okay. So, for context, 5 to 6 seconds would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's quite a bit of time. What was going on in between those 5 to 6 seconds?
Please don't make me answer that question.
I think everybody here is dying to know.
Ms.
I was
Nightingale, I have to instruct you to
thinking.
answer. Okay.
Apologies. I was thinking about how everyone that I could family, my at the time girlfriend, and the people that I could family at the PDO would be reacting to having to bury me like I have unfortunately had to do to so many people that I called family. And I did not want to put them through the same pain and suffering that I go through every single day because of it.
Bottle.
Yeah, go for it.
So you waited 6 seconds thinking about that, with your life in immediate danger, as you state, with a firearm pointed at you, and that is what you were thinking about.
I froze. People freeze.
You froze, but you shot 9 times. Is that correct? Sorry.
Yes, it is.
Does that sound like someone who freeze?
Okay, what was that? Objection?
Grounds, please.
I don't. Oh, was that a question?
Yes. I'm asking her opinion. Sorry, would you let me to rephrase the question? In your opinion, does that sound like someone who would have froze?
In my opinion, everyone responds to a situation differently. As someone who once put it to me, the same boiled water that would soften the potato would also harden the egg.
In those 5 to 6 seconds, did you consider any other options?
Yes,
to avoid
I did.
the situation.
Yes, I did. I considered turning and running, but I was walking down the street, and I know that street quite well. If I had turned and run, I probably would have been on the ground bleeding out by the time I had turned. Yeah.
What do you recall was said between the two of you?
Fast and nothing.
Yep.
I apologize.
You stated that you thought about running. Did you think about having a conversation with the individual?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
What implored you to fire your firearm 9 times instead of having a conversation?
after what I stated before finished going through my head, I honestly don't know. I lost control, I guess. I have not been in that situation in a very, very, very long time.
Thank you. We have no questions, Your Honor.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna be honest. I have no idea what it was. Was that the last question? Like, was that the last cross? Are we on recross or? I don't know where we are at this point.
Believe that was the cross, Your Honor. Defense can defense. Tell me if I'm wrong.
I questioned her. They questioned her. I don't think we've gone back yet.
Go ahead.
Okay. Miss Nightingale, first off, are you okay?
Not really, no.
Yeah, sorry about that. When you said that your statement was incorrect, can you clarify what you mean by that?
Is it alright if I go over my statement in the docket to be 100% accurate? Yeah.
Yes.
Alright.
I don't give a fuck if she perjures herself on the stand, right? Like, about this statement now. It's just the matter that she lost control.
Do you mind repeating what the prosecution said was accurate, what they were referring to?
I
My head's a
believe
bit
that.
frazzled.
No worries. I believe, if Your Honor will allow it, their issue was that you didn't notate that you were nearly hit.
Oh, that, right.
Your Honor, if we may, we did just ask what we had issues with in her original statement. There were multiple issues in her statement, that just being one of them.
Okay, I'll notate.
Apologies.
They did it. They put her on the stand. They didn't have to put her on the stand. If they didn't, they did this knowing full well that we did not have Mr. Kilson. So I'm going to.
When I said that Mr. Kilson pulled in front of me,
everything
that
in my
wasn't
power
entirely
to prove
accurate. I
her.
should have said he pulled in front of me aggressively, nearly striking me. I accidentally left out a bit of detail because I had a lot of adrenaline and shock running through me.
Is there anything else in your statement you would consider inaccurate?
I would say that I didn't put in the fact that we were in a standoff for a little bit to be the main another thing. Yeah.
I still think it can go either way, though.
Pointing the guns at each other for a good couple of seconds.
I think it can go either
is
way,
probably
Flashy.
something else that's inaccurate. Yeah.
So when you say inaccurate, you just mean lacking in details.
Yeah.
Understood.
Apologies. Yes, sorry.
Yeah, I know. Is English your first language?
Niet. English is my third language.
Yeah, doing well. Thank you. That's all for now.
State anything further?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, you can step down. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Any other witnesses or evidence, please?
The defense rests.
The state also rests.
All right. 1 second.
Closing statement.
Bless you, Your Honor.
You good?
I'm sorry, I'm getting sick. Are we gonna move forward with closing, or do we want to waive?
I would request a short recess to make sure my closing is up to snuff.
We also concur.
Okay, I'll give until 10 o'clock Eastern. You have 5 minutes.
Thank you.
Thank you. I just need help. So I just need help figuring out what I need to modify
Oh,
to
yeah, let me
include this
actually
shit that she
read.
said on stand.
Let me
Yeah,
actually just-
help me out here.
Let's see what like again. Wants to thank they we appreciate. They
I added in the loss control part. And I think in a good spot. I definitely knew I wanted to add that in. Oh,
yeah.
I'll take out of that.
Yeah, take Gavin out because Gavin didn't really give us anything. Officer Lyons who arrived last on don't include the fact that he was last on just that he arrived. That way it doesn't feel like he missed out anything from being in that prior. Well, it's unfortunate. Was how sorry, I like reading out loud. It makes
No, it's fine. You do you. We got 3 minutes. What's it like hearing it so I can kind of see how well it reads aloud as well?
alright. Yeah.
You're on the fourth
Even if
paragraph.
the dormant draw on the victim states, how could the defendant see it? Tell the driver side. This is especially an observation as of from a crime scene photos. The vehicle has no intent in broad daylight. This is part of Miss Nightingale's appears fabricated. The defendant also claims to cut off and feel threatened by this. We can see in both photos taken at the defense own recreational areas wide open. It is the defendant's responsibility to find avenues of first. Saw the vehicle drive down. Like suspicion. Even as she get around the way around down an alley of a number of options. Instead, she drew her own firearm, escalating. Yeah, it is a stand your ground states. Getting rid of that. that.
Yeah, I just realized that. Yeah.
Gallison is by the end. The defense in the mission say that she lost control during the most critical part of their interaction, causing bodily harm against Wilson. Might do a little bit instead of it just being ended on. The defendant would be first. I feel like this entire section reworked. I don't know why. I think
All right.
just because it is a standing ground, I think if we get rid of the flee,
Yeah.
but exhaust all other options to preserve life, that
What
that
if I
is
said? What if I said attempted to de-escalate first?
no. If you said if the defendant would have attempted to exhaust all other options of preserving life, that would work because that could cover a multitude of things, right? But we're not specifying that she should have fled because then we're not trying to contradict the stand your ground law. But we're saying, well, she could have preserved life by XXXX. It's up to the court's decision on that.
Is everybody ready?
Yeah, this works. That works.
Yeah.
I think it works a lot better than what it did.
Just say it whenever you're ready.
Yes.
Sorry.
Go for it.
The state would like to once again thank everybody for being here today. We appreciate the court's time in these matters and defense's equal passion for justice as we do. Today we are fortunate enough to hear testimony from Dr. Dana Delaney, who first arrived on scene, and Officer Lyons, who also arrived on scene and was the lead investigator in this case. While it is unfortunate we were unable to hear from the victim, Max Kilson, here today in court, the state believes that 2 statements from this individual clearly paints a picture of what truly happened that day, which is further corroborated by the defendant's own statement, along with hearing from the defendant herself on stand today. By the defendant's own statement given when she explained the sequence of events, she claims, "I started to draw my firearm at the same time I witnessed him shuffling around near his waist belt." Kilson stated his firearm was already in his lap. He stated his firearm was already out during his initial statement, and also a few weeks later during his docket post on the initial filing of this case. The defense submitted photos to show a scene recreation to try and help us visualize how this went down. However, in these photos, you cannot see the driver's lap. You can't even see the driver's waist. The defendant also stated that the interior of the vehicle was dark, so dark that she couldn't see anyone inside. So how would somebody be able to tell that a firearm was on the driver's lap or even reaching for a gun? Even if a gun was drawn after the victim stated it was, how could the defendant see if it was in the interior? If the interior was so dark that she couldn't even tell if the driver was inside. This is especially an odd observation to make, as from the crime scene photos, the vehicle has no window tint and it's broad daylight outside. This part of Miss Nightingale's explanation appears to be a complete fabrication. The defendant also claimed to be cut off and felt threatened by this. But we can see in both of the photos taken at the crime scene and the defense's own recreation photos that this area is wide open. As she saw the vehicle drive down the road and look suspicious, or even as she heard the tires squeal, she could have ran away, ran down an alley, or any number of options. Instead, she drew her own firearm, escalating the situation, and then firing her firearm first. Regardless of Mr. Kilson's intentions, since at the time she did not have that information, brandishing your weapon, pointing it, and shooting first makes you the aggressor, not the other way around. By the defendant's own admission on the stand today, she stated that she lost control during the most crucial time of their interaction. These were the 5 to 6 seconds, the moment where this situation could have been completely avoided altogether. The state would like to make one thing clear. We are confident the court agrees. Based on the law, the act of shooting first does not mean that you are a murderer. The context and facts of each case differ and make all the difference. We do not disagree with the defendant in saying that Los Santos is a dangerous place. It is certainly no paradise, and anyone within the courtroom today may be face to face with a barrel of a gun one day. If the defendant would have attempted to exhaust all other options to preserve life, or if there is further evidence to show that the defendant saw the victim's firearm prior to unholstering her weapon, we would have had a completely different case on our hands. One with a different defendant sitting across from me, or a case, I would not be prosecuting at all. Thank you, Your Honor. The state rests.
Defense.
Alrighty. Your Honor, and all parties. The question we have in front of us for this case is a question of provocation. HR 112 has 3 conditions for self-defense. First, the defender must be subjected to the attack, with an attack being defined as an unprovoked act of illegal physical violence and/or an imminent threat of illegal physical violence. Miss Nightingale was out walking on her own when Mr. Kilson made the choice to follow her and then turn directly into her path, documented by photos. Drove up onto the sidewalk, an extremely unreasonable thing for a person to do, missed her by inches. This is in no way an act that can be interpreted as reasonable and can easily be interpreted as threatening, which she did, and is considered a lethal weapon and can cause severe harm to a person. Regardless of testimony or statements, the photos of the vehicle show that it was in an unreasonable place, and that in itself was threatening. Second part, the defender must not have directly provoked the aforementioned attack by engaging in an attack themselves. Mr. Kilson, in his own words in his statement in line 1, says, "I had my gun in my lap because this is Los Santos and it is dangerous." He finds it reasonable to have a firearm out and at the ready to maintain safety. So Miss Nightingale pulling one out at his abrupt approach could not have been interpreted by escalation by Mr. Kilson. It's reasonable to him. Is he allowed to have a gun out for his own protection, and she is not? She never even raised her weapon until Mr. Kilson did, and only fired when he did not disengage. By Corporal Lyon's statement, it is entirely reasonable to find a gun pointed at you to be an imminent threat, which is all that is required by HR 112. Part 3, a defender is privileged to use such force as reasonably appears necessary to prevent imminent, unlawful physical harm. Every step of the way, Ms. Nightingale was proportional in reaction. When he nearly hit her with the deadly weapon that was his car, she only drew her weapon. When he raised his gun, she raised her gun. When he didn't stop, she tried to step away and was followed. Then she fired. Someone being panicked in that moment is reasonable. Not many people are trained to survive this sort of thing. Of course, she was distressed and perturbed. Miss Nightingale in no way asked for this interaction with Mr. Kilson. He asserted himself onto her. And like Corporal Lyons testified, as law enforcement does, they shoot until they neutralize the situation. As soon as she saw that that gun was out of his hand, she stopped and she called him medical attention. That is more than a lot of people would think to do in the moment. This is cut and dry. Do we really want to punish people for defending themselves? I know that it's apparently been a struggle so far, and understanding that seeing into the interior of a vehicle from a block away is much different than 6 inches from you. But I hope clearly that we will not allow these errors to put Miss Nightingale through more punishment in the system that she has faced 3 months of. Thank you.
I'd like to thank everyone for the court for their time today. I'm going to deliberate, and we will reconvene when I have decided. Going into recess.
Oh yeah, you died?
That was interesting.
I don't know what the
forgot
hell's gonna happen.
That we could have debunked a theory of being behind the vehicle.
Okay.
Like she moved. Just literally by bullet casings alone.
Yes.
That's
Watch yourself.
unfortunate.
Double checking that. I need a smoke. I really fucking
Jeez,
badly need
Alex.
a smoke. So I am going to have a fucking smoke in recess.
Okay.
Tobias, can you let me out, please?
Come on.
I need a holy.
Courtroom doors are open. You're free to go.
Oh, they could go anyway. I think it's leaning more towards. I think it's leaning a lot more towards the defense than us. I will not be surprised. I will actually be surprised if we win this. Definitely. Definitely. Oh yeah, she. 100%. I'd be surprised if we won this. I did everything that I could in my reasonable power. I did everything I could. I did literally everything that I think I could. But I don't think it was enough. I don't think any of us, I don't think me or Bert were enough. It was a very cut and dry. The Exhibit G hurt us more than it helped us. Like, way more than it fucking helped us. Like, holy, like, fuck, dog. Like, his second statement admitting that he was gonna kidnap her and that he lied. Fuck, that hurt us so bad. That hurt us so badly. Yeah, like, it's not looking promising for us. She's definitely gonna walk. To be honest, she should, like, her defense counsel made a fucking horrific argument as best as they could. I 100% give them that. Like, we can only do so much within our powers and what we're given with. I don't think that there was really any winning it from our perspective, to be honest. So yeah. And that's okay. Like, we win some, we lose some, right? I just might be pretty harsh. What seems to be.
Hold on everything as far as the charges.
Gotcha.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, you're good.
Yeah, this was definitely an interesting one. There was a lot going on. I was lost for a hot second.
This one got spicier than I thought it would.
I got it. Push Amara out of the way.
I thought it was just gonna be a formality.
Court
but
is
it
back
became
in
more than that.
session.
Oh wow! All right, already. Shit.
Oh,
Alright. That was a very quick
I
delivery.
don't like that this
You did.
fast.
Oh, like, I may. Do I mind? Chaz, thank you.
Everyone can be seated. If the defendant can stay standing, please, that'd be great, please. So, excuse me. So it's an uncontested fact, as stated by the admission of the victim, Max Kilson, that he was attempting to take the defendant, Miss Nightingale, hostage at the time of the incident. The primary contention raised by the state is in determining the intent of Mr. Kilson and the necessity for the defendant to respond as she did, and whether or not she knew his intent. The state has pointed to the Department of Justice's stance that the criteria for self-defense had not been met, specifically that of the defender must have reasonably believed that there was an actual and specific threat that required immediate action. In light of the facts and evidence presented, this court finds that the contention is unpersuasive. Corporal Lyons' testimony is instructive on this matter, and he testified, and this court agrees, that having a handgun pointed at oneself would be perceived as an imminent threat, meriting an immediate and defensive response. While the state has specifically stated and stressed that law enforcement often confront similar situations, and they don't frequently resort to shooting first, this court has the opinion that such comparison is inept. Law enforcement officers undergo rigorous and continuous training to handle such high-pressure situations, placing them in a unique position to assess and respond to threats differently from ordinary civilians. Ms. Nightingale, as an ordinary civilian, cannot reasonably be expected to react with the same level of composure, training, and confidence as law enforcement.
Panda, thank you for the raid.
Her actions
I
must
much
be judged
appreciate
from
you,
the
darling.
standpoint
Thank
of a
you,
reasonable
thank you.
person in her situation, faced with an immediate
We would
and
witness
life-threatening
this in
danger.
that case.
Given that, 1, the victim had admitted to his intent to take Miss Nightingale hostage, 2, a handgun that was pointed at Miss Nightingale representing an immediate threat, and 3, the defendant's actions can reasonably be justified as an act of self-defense given the circumstances. This court finds that the defense has met the preponderance of evidence standard, being that self-defense is an affirmative defense. Accordingly, Valentina Nightingale is hereby found not guilty of aggravated attempted second-degree murder. Ms. Nightingale's bar status is hereby reinstated. That is the final and binding order of this court. Court's adjourned. Thank you, everybody, for your time.
Well,
I get to be dismissed now.
Okay.
Yes,
I go
you're
back.
good to go.
Can I
Go,
go back
go,
to
go.
Lido Forest where I belong?
Yes.
Thank you.
Well,
Valentina, I have something for
there's
you.
that.
Well,
Why are you crawling?
We knew that
Make
it was
your
gonna
walked
be a
away.
full body, but we
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, we did our best.
With you.
You did great.
Well, I appreciate you, officer.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, it is what it
My
is.
job is paperwork.
Good work,
Me
Officer.
too.
I am so sorry, Lions. I realized I called you. I called you
Good work,
everything, and Lionel. God, I am so sorry. I butchered your last name about 50 billion times. I am so sorry.
It's
I-
okay. No worries.
Can I pick
No
your guys'
worries,
brain
no
real quick?
worries.
Well,
Give
make
us
sure
a
you put it in an email
second,
with Adrian
and you.
within the next
after-
24 hours,
I'm
okay?
going to be talking
I'm
to
sorry, what?
her
I can't hear you.
soon
Okay,
as
good.
I can.
Oh, sorry. I was telling him that he can pick up brains in a
That-
second.
yeah.
And for what it's worth, Valentina,
I-
you were the
Yeah,
first
bro.
major case I had. If I could do it over again, I would have done it this way, okay?
I have one question to ask.
Yeah, go for it.
Why did you do it with me?
I don't know if I can answer that without
That's what she said.
making it sound like I'm cold and callous. Bro, just for a second, okay?
Sorry,
I want to listen to this.
Oh,
Oh, God. Arigato, Mr. Roboto. Domo.
It was everybody for a second.
I think it was everybody.
We knew Bobby.
Without making it sound like I'm cold and callous, Valentina,
Yes, sir.
I think I would refrain. I would rather
Oh.
move forward from this day.
Yeah, here, have my phone number.
Without
I
thinking
got
about
it now.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. Just forgot the name of the of what's his name, Bert.
Yep.
Yeah, and you're Patrick, right?
I don't always agree with Winifred, but she and I come eye to eye on a lot of
Correct.
topics.
Oh, if you're able to, can you slap me your details as well?
There you go.
Oh, I didn't get that.
I wish you the best of luck, and I hope PDO reinstates you and that you are a successful litigator.
Well, my
They-
phone's broken.
I
so
want
it's
you to be
broken,
better
so
than Winifred.
I'll have to figure that out.
I don't think anyone could be better.
All right, you have a good day.
I want you to excel past Winnie. That is your job now.
Alright, Winifred, can you...
Wow.
Winifred, can you ruin your career so it's easier to pass you?
I don't think that's how that works.
Valentina.
Well,
You're good.
yeah.
as I was saying, when's the last time you
Yeah,
saw
about
Brother
to in a
Craig?
minute. I'm just listening.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
no
Never.
crying in the courtroom. That's official.
Yeah, way I look
I've
at
never
it
seen you
too
cry,
was I
actually.
wasn't 100% if it was self-defense or not.
I'm fucking happy.
Then Anthony decided and did it, so you know.
Do I have to
we
accidentally
tried
knock that
the
the
best
door
that
off
we
your head
could.
again?
We knew that it was going to be a very big toss-up, and we knew that it was
You
going
did
to be an
help the
uphill
court
battle.
set a couple of precedences, so I'm very happy about those.
Come here, you big idiot.
With how it is, it is. Oh.
Then might want to back up a little bit.
You
I was
did
going
great
to-
on the stand.
Also,
was going
for
to actually share.
You did fantastic.
Department of Justice, Reina, you
All right,
had
well.
immaculate
So happy for
questions.
you, Valid.
Yes, I did want to
Divine.
say.
You did.
I was
You
waiting
had
until you guys
stellar
were done before I said it was an
Yeah.
absolute pleasure being able to be across the
Always.
room from you. I haven't
This is what
had
I want
the,
lawyers to always be like.
I haven't had the pleasure, so
I-
today was
This is
gonna
like
be
how
my
me and
first,
Donnie are
and I was
friends.
excited. So
It was nice to sit in and assist with this, honestly.
Yeah. By the way, Reina, have you met my paralegal, Alex?
I
right?
have
This is
not.
Alex.
Miss
Hi.
Valentina,
She goes
no
by
hard
Asto.
feelings in regards to my questions on the stand. I look forward to hopefully going against you on the opposite side when you do start practicing law again.
People have a job to do. You don't always like to do what you do, but you have to do it.
Sorry, excuse me. Sorry.
Oh God, don't say that to Winnie after the last 48 hours. She understands that.
Trust me,
I'm so tired. I'm so tired. I'm so tired. I'm so tired.
Look,
Winifred, would now be the wrong time to talk about the $500,000 in lost wages?
You're gonna have to find a different lawyer, my dude.
Well,
Oh shit.
She is.
I can't.
I.
Yeah, on the.
Would you?
I'm eyeballs deep. Oh yeah, everyone, hold the doors open for Willis.
This is.
Oh,
This
I
is
just
the.
I'm not
wanted
gonna
to
tell.
join the circle.
Oh, okay.
Valentina, I'm not gonna
Okay,
tell
yeah.
you what to do from here, but this consider this a fresh start, man. Like,
Yeah.
go out there and pave your own way. It doesn't matter what is prior to this. Everything after this is what matters.
Mhm.
You got this. Where'd Bert go?
Yeah.
He died.
alright,
Oh, you did-
I am
what?
going
We
to
turned
do
him
what
Burt
I...
Burgers.
I'm going to do what I suggest everyone else does, which is get drunk as fuck.
I know I'm going to sleep.
But Mike, I can hear.
Alrighty.
You don't drink.
Have a good night. Yeah.
Good night. By the way, Miss Baker, unfortunately, on behalf of the SABA DAP committee,
I'm aware.
love you.
Why did you guys have to do that during the court case?
Because somebody ruled, and it's my job. I'm not presiding. I'm the lead.
You know, speak of the devil, and he calls me, but his voice box is.
It's okay. The upside is winning. You don't have to argue that part.
Say that one more time. I didn't hear that.
You don't have to argue that at all.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. You did
Yeah,
good
I
tonight,
guess I
both
was-
of you. I'm very proud of both you and Reina. Reina's questions were really
Honestly,
on point.
You know,
Yeah, Good job, Reina, little cell rep.
I buy it.
Seriously.
That always makes me very happy.
Excuse me,
Say
if you
something
really
like
quick.
that. So thank
Oh,
you.
pardon, Kelly.
Oh. Winnie did a lot of things that I used to do in DOJ, and she brought it forward into defense. Okay, this sucks. I'm 5149. I hate it.
You, I'm gonna be honest, Miss Baker, you were fantastic. We're hitting every single thing that you should as a defense attorney. Made me have to work twice as hard. So
Your closing was so good.
Oh,
your
really?
closing was perfect. Your closing should be exactly what.
She was stressing about that so hard. I can tell you this.
I improvised like a fourth of it.
Well, you improvised very well.
Listen, there's something to be said about like having a couple of key points that you want to bang on a notepad, but if you start like running off of a clipboard and you just ask the same questions that you pre-cooked 3 weeks ago, you're not going to get very far. But if you can riff off of what people have said on testimony on the stand and then move forward from that, man, you're going to be great. And the two of you did that. You did that very well.
Oh yeah, no,
I'm
all
really
of my
proud
questions.
of Bert though.
Yeah.
Bert
no.
used to. Did you know Bert was my paralegal once?
Bert
What,
did
really?
Bert did
Yeah.
fantastic. Considering the
I just
fact
sad
that
he stepped out.
he was solo this entire case up until literally 48 hours ago when I was assigned to possibly take Mr. Kilson's deposition. I think he did fantastic. So
Yeah, I'll need to send him. I feel bad that he ducked out. I apologize. I was a little clumsy in my objections. I'm still learning those. Yeah, like seriously.
you are fine. I feel like sometimes I misstep on my own objections on which one's which, so we're completely fine. And I've been doing law for way longer than I expected. So objections that are something that you still fumble on, I feel like, no matter how experienced you
The
are.
only times you can practice it is in court, right? Like it's always like you're learning on the fly.
Yep.
Like, but I'm private, so I never have mock trials.
Well, yeah, no. To be honest, 90% of the time, when you start processing, wait, is that an objection? They're already starting to answer.
It's
the
already
question,
past it.
and you're like, "Fuck, I should have objected." And that's why when you objected, I think on like maybe the 5th one, I was like, "On what?" Like, I didn't mean to verbally state it.
Oh no,
but I was like, "What are you objecting?" You need to tell me.
I love
No, I agree.
objections
It
because
was because. Oh, go ahead, Tom.
I try to anticipate what somebody's going to ask as the question, and I have an objection ready.
Yeah, that sounds about right for
See,
you.
I'm not to that point yet.
Really tough.
I'm not. Maybe I will be. Not there yet.
Ah, you'll get there.
Raina, was that you on that one case where like, with the nurse and you kept having to cut her off because she wanted to ramble?
Yep, yeah, that was me. Yep, that was me.
Alrighty. Well, Theo's awake. I'm gonna go visit him. See ya.
Was that a
That's
was that
actually
a bad or a good
No,
remembrance?
that was the first time I've seen a lawyer actually, make sure the person didn't say too much.
I
like that. She didn't
I
like it,
am
but I like
I am a very I'm very much if you start rambling and I don't want you to ramble, I will cut you off. And I feel like I made her realize that she didn't like me. By the end of the second cutoff, she goes, "Fuck's sake." And I see, I didn't want to be that dick.
Okay, that was funny.
And say,
yeah.
So
That
I
was
cut her
so
off,
funny.
and then she sighed and went, "Fuck's sake," and I went, Your Honor, can you
I don't
please
think she meant to
remind
say
the
that
wit?
so
No,
loudly.
no, I don't think she did.
Don't worry, we all quietly just went. Damn.
Tobias, it got even better. I asked Alfie Young if he could remind the witness to swear on the stand.
That's true, you did.
Yeah. It'd be funny if I was on the bench and be like, okay, the witness is instructed not to fucking swear, okay? That's reserved for me, thank you.
I'm a bad witness. I ramble on purpose.
And
oh god, if I were in DOJ's shoes or any plaintiff's shoes, try to control you as a witness, I'd be like, you know what? I'm gonna self-impeach my own witness. God, shut up, Willow.
I will admit,
Winnie had to
though,
deal with it.
Winnie, you surprised me when you were up on the stand.
That surprised me too. That's a very dangerous play.
It is a very dangerous play, and
I was worried.
I took full advantage. I will be honest.
As you should.
You kind of did. And Winnie was like, well, this is badgering. And I'm like, no, she's actually on cross as somebody who's waived her Fifth Amendment right.
And
she can
technically,
go after her.
Yeah, and she was technically classified as hostile, which means I could technically
correct.
lead her. So I took full advantage of it, and I made sure Bert knew that he could take full advantage of it too if he wanted.
That's one thing I think a lot of defense attorneys, especially in the last year or so, if you put your client on the stand, they've waived the Fifth Amendment right, and that they can be led. The joy of that is if I were you, Raynham, I would have never asked anything on cross. I would have said I have no questions on cross. And then, okay, do we have anything else? No, the witness can step down and be like, Your Honor, I would like to actually introduce this witness now that they've waived their Fifth Amendment right on direct.
Yeah, I was very tempted too, but I thought I'd be nice and not.
I have a question.
Oh,
I'm not
it
sure
wouldn't have
if it
been
would've-
much of a difference
No,
anyway.
in this case, it wouldn't have made much of a difference. But if it was a witness who was going to be
But
tried
you
to
know,
cage
for next time.
If they were trying to be cagey, then that's when.
Oh no, definitely. If they
Yeah.
were a lot more
She was pretty forthright. On
yeah,
the
if she was a lot more apprehensive about wanting to answer certain questions, I 100% would have a direct.
If Winnie didn't object to you calling her a liar on the stand and trying to impeach her, oh my god! I like literally, I sat there, mouth agape, talking to Lil, like, oh, clutching my pearls.
I like that one. Objection. Was that even a question?
That was so funny.
I
was like, oh
I
shit.
was laughing internally. I was like,
Sorry. I'm gonna be real with you. When I said it, I realized after I finished talking that I didn't ask the question that I wanted to ask. And then all I
you
hear is,
said it so hard in your mind, you forgot.
yeah,
to
no, I
actually say
did.
it.
I really did. I had it like all planned out, and I was saying it, and then I literally like stopped talking instead of saying it. And all I hear is, objection. Is that a question? And I was like, fuck. I was like, I can rephrase. Like, I'll re-say it. Like, I'm sorry.
Wait,
My
why
bad.
did all the witnesses wanted to sit next to me at my computer?
Because you're beautiful.
Because you were
'Cause you're cute.
injured, and
Listen,
yeah, there's
you have
that
cute
too.
legs that are already showing, and you're like, my legs are fucked up. Like, they're already adorable. Shut up.
It's my computer.
This is my Minecraft server, motherfucker.
Yeah, I didn't want them to see the game that I had on there.
Ah, we knew it.
Wait, what?
Doom Eternal.
But you were definitely a lot of fun to go up against. There you go.
So I like this, by the way, where we have a court case and we all come together and we coalesce. There's no animosity because for the last 6 months, we haven't had this, right? Where we just all just hang out, just chill.
There really shouldn't be any animosity.
There
We're just
shouldn't be.
doing our jobs.
I
That's it.
literally could care
Usually
less
one
if you
side or
guys
the other
beeping
just sort
or
of
not.
storms out,
Right,
and then
like,
the rest
so-
chills with us.
So when I was in Department of Justice, after a case, Donnie and I would just hang out and just laugh and have like good jokes together. And we begged other people just to, what the fuck glasses were
Don't fucking
those?
ask questions, okay? It's been a
Jesus.
long fucking day.
All right, John Lennon.
Oh.
And I
Hey,
missed this. Oh, well,
Oh,
she
yeah.
storms off.
Yeah, I could care.
I'm
I
gonna
could care
fuck myself, it's
less
fine.
if you
Yeah, please
guys,
do.
if you
In
guys
front
beat
of
me
you?
in a court case.
As long as you know you did all you could, that's all that matters.
Oh,
really.
100%. In the nicest sense, I had less than 48 hours to prepare this case. I'm gonna be honest, I was preparing for my other cases. So realistically, I
That's
only
fair.
had about an hour before this court case to actually really review all the evidence. And I reviewed it all and I was like, oh, this is gonna be fun. This is so I knew that it was already gonna be like an uphill battle anyway going into this. And I was like, but I am here basically to help any way that I can. I will help you in any recross, any questions that you need, I will be here. I'm gonna be reviewing everything while we go as well. And we'll hope for the best.
Yeah,
To
you
me-
did good. You did
So to me, the important thing to take away, there's two things. The first thing is when you're licked, right? Like filing off an appeal just to sit there for 6 months, probably not worth it. And the second thing is if you can learn something that we can bring forward into the open court sessions where we could do, if nobody shows up for a case, we can do on a mock trial or a kangaroo court, be able to help train people. Because not everybody thinks like me or Krios or Lily or Adrian on how to be able to prosecute as well as defend a case. And it should not have an animosity where when you leave the courtroom, you just want to hate each other.
Yeah.
Because you shouldn't have that. Because at the end of the day, y'all work together, right? Like we work with you as lawyers, and then you lawyers should work with each other to make sure justice is upheld. That
Justice.
Shut up. That the word of law is upheld. You're in your charge, according to the Sabo Code of Behavior, is to make sure that all rights of citizenry is upheld equally.
Yep.
And
Yeah, and
that's
you
all
did
I care about.
amazing for the short amount of time you had for this.
I'm gonna be real. I'm still getting used to my bearings here. On how how strict I can be with a witness. Like, so I'm very hesitant on how I phrase questions because I don't want to come across as a dick in the nicest sense.
So, as a prosecutor, I was very well known to be a prick until somebody checked me. If you let me run with my question unchecked, I will keep asking question after question after question. And if I asked like an asshole, that's where my measure was.
And that's how
It's-
the O'Hagans do it too. They'll
Yeah.
just
Oh,
push,
yeah,
push, push
Donnie-
until they get told off.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Donnie and I have had literally thrown down arguments right here. We're like, "Dude, listen here, you're
So in
leading the
other
witness, you're
words,
coaching
it's
the
sort
witness."
of like a toddler. If you leave them unchecked, they're just going to continue to
Well,
round.
100%.
So
Give me a moment.
sometimes
Got
they
it.
don't
Think about
even
something.
care. Like sometimes it's like I don't even
I'll be
care
right
if
back,
the
sorry.
question gets thrown out. Just want to agitate the witness.
Oh yeah, I've definitely 100% as a prosecutor asked questions 100% that would not only agitate my witness but also piss off the defense attorney. So they just try to object so I could throw her off the game, because it's about chess, and it sucks that that's the way it is. But as judges, we have to sit back and objectively listen to everything. So if Doc over here, who's been very, very quiet, stoic as Doc has always been,
Hi, Doc.
out of nowhere, it's just like, Your Honor, I object. This is a leading question on the grounds that Willow Holloway cannot testify to what has happened to Ethan Lawrence. I'd be like, okay, all right, fine.
And I'll now be on the stand and I'll yell, false, I have photos.
Okay, you're not.
damn
That's
it,
not
Willow.
fair. You have photos of everything.
Gotcha, Doc.
I think we should take that camera away from him.
So does Willow. Takes pictures of everything. Okay,
I'm not
Doc,
a
you're not
photo.
Nixon.
Oh
Why
gosh,
not?
where did you even pull that off? Where do you keep that, Will?
Wow, what? That's huge.
I
The
know.
police confiscated a lot of my film.
Does Willow have a prison pocket?
I think maybe.
What?
Oh,
There's a
okay,
bag
okay.
on this wheelchair.
Oh,
Where?
Where?
In the
Are we-
back.
Tobias,
it's
are
a-
we
it's-
just missing it?
Just put your
Maybe.
hand down the back.
No.
No, I'm not falling for that.
All stuff will pull out.
Nope.
I need an
Look,
adult.
this was back
Yeah,
here.
same.
This feels like a
Awesome.
trap.
Thank you. I'll keep this.
I mean, there has
one of
definitely been, in the last few weeks, there's definitely been cases where the DOJ is representing or doesn't want to represent, and across my eyes, and I 100% regret becoming a judge. And I was like, man, I could lead you to the promised land, but I'm trying so hard just to let you have your own wings and hope you don't fly too close to the sun.
Well, you're fired, Toby. Go join DOJ now.
Doc,
You're fired. You
come
go
come
to
back.
join DOJ.
I don't want to
No,
run you
I'm
over.
the nice
I want to
judge.
show you my
I
business
have
card.
seniority.
Oh,
Yeah, you definitely.
I saw this. This was
Seemed
made
like
by
You're
Pippi,
1
right?
month older than
Yeah.
me, but I'm still got
She's
more
really
seniority.
talented.
Wait,
for
did I
you
show
on
you?
the- as a
You have
magistrate.
like grandpa.
Oh, I saw
I
a
will,
preview
I
of
will
it.
fuck you up, man.
I want to show Raina.
Okay.
Listen, I have brown hair. You have white hair. You're Doc Brown.
Okay, get in there, get in there.
Great Scott. What's wrong with Doc Brown?
He's not Marty McFly.
Man, I feel like I should have popcorn for this interaction. Damn.
I mean, Doc Brown's cooler than.
Oh, this is literally me and Ethan
I know.
all day,
I know.
every
This
day.
is fun to watch, is what I'm saying. This is fun
Just
to
wait
watch.
till you see Mike's Doom on the 31st. Wait, you've seen it, maybe.
Wait, the 31st or 30th? The 30th. I'm gonna be real busy.
The 31st. That's Halloween, bud.
I'm gonna go out to Devil's Night like full bore.
Ooh.
Yeah, there's someone walking around as the Joker. I think it's Justin Lee.
Of course it is. If I
Oh,
could run around on Devil's
you've
Night
seen him
as
around
Brandon
town?
Lee, I'd do that.
Did anyone see my like 36-point turns in the wheelchair trying to straighten out?
I did. I
You
saw
said
your
it was like
36-point turn.
72-point turns, by the way.
Wait, did you guys hear that?
Yes.
Yeah, Lily, she's like, did she say like 72-point turn? I'm like, I think she did.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Whoops.
You guys
I
didn't hear me
mean-
ask Killian to make out in the back, did you?
We heard that. So
Yeah, we're
you
gonna
gotta
be kissing and
you have to save room for John McLemore. Lily and I had a photo of this.
Wait, what?
Yep.
Did you tell her to save room for John McLemore?
No, because that's gonna be a lot of room at this point. Who? At the point that I made the ruling that I did, I'm resolute on my decision, and this ruling tonight is, to me, is very different. But it wouldn't change the way I ruled.
I stand on the grounds that you take pride in your decisions and your actions that you did. Whether or not they are a good or a bad outcome, you did them. And since you did commit it, take pride in it. Because it is something that you have done.
Well, that's quite literally the charge of a judge. You have to believe in what you said. And if it's overruled or there's a modify on it, that's fine.
Mm-hmm. It's always a good thing for everyone to just, stand by too,
I mean, Killian asked me in the back room, he's like, "Are you okay with this?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm okay with it." You rule the way you want to rule on appellate. It sets a really solid precedent, got a really solid frivolous defense ruling on this. I'm very happy about everything. That was like 100 days ago for me,
I'm
though.
not going to lie. I'm so happy that that was the first thing I assisted with in the court.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, that was fun to witness. It's very interesting.
I mean, as a state attorney, I only lost one case. So as a judge, hey, I'm batting 1,000 on getting a case overturned the first day. Fuck. Hi, Winnie.
Zach was just calling to ask about something.
Oh, did you tell Zach that you're so sorry?
About what?
I don't know, whatever Zach's calling about. Just say you're sorry. It's fine.
I'm not sorry.
Oh.
She's like, because I didn't do anything.
God, she's
Winnie.
not. I'm Canadian, so I say sorry to everything.
Well, I was born in northern Minnesota, and you
That's
probably heard
close.
that.
There
Yeah,
you
I
go.
heard that.
Yep.
As soon as you said Minnesota.
Yeah, you heard it.
I heard
And
it.
I
Don't
bumped
you, bud?
into walls, and I apologized to the wall. So
I was born in Florida.
I'm gonna end it
That
here.
explains a lot too.
yeah, there are certain words that you hear the
And-
Midwestern
God.
accent.
Willow is Florida man as a woman.
I'm a Floridian.
You guys,
You
been
said
good.
you
You
were
guys are
born in
amazing.
Florida. You're
We saw the
Floridian.
court case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's better
We
than
did the
a
best that we
Floridian.
could. I will
Hey,
see
look,
you guys in a
Willow,
little bit.
we didn't get shot,
fantastic.
kidnapped, stabbed by Sharif Kareem.
You haven't left the
Oh, I heard
I
about
guess.
courthouse yet.
that.
Oh, okay, hold on.
Oh, jeez.